Your car broken into in the middle of the winter and you had to drive to work, freezing your ass off while sitting on broken glass, then this episode's for you. Um, I lived in an area growing up where there's quite a bit of crime. I can't even count how many times my car was broken into from the time I was 16 to maybe 19 years old. And, reading this post, again, it's a crazy thing you stumble upon on the internet. This was on TMZ and Twitter. But reading his post about it not being some big deal, you just get used to it, and his car was broken in 15 times. It's kind of infuriating. I don't know where the dude grew up. Maybe he grew up broke too. I don't know what the guy's background is, and I'm not going to go look because I don't care. But I remember being 16 years old with a car that I had to save up and buy with my own money from my own jobs. My dad and I are struggling to get by. We're trying to get rent paid. His union's on strike. I'm barely going to high school because I'm working 2 or 3 jobs. And then some asshole breaks out your window, steals the stuff from inside your car, tries to steal your car stereo, and you don't have 200 or 300 bucks to replace that window. And if you got like PLPD on your car, either way, you either got needing the money for the deductible, or you got to pay for the window, or you end up being one of those people that has to put the plastic over the window and you duct tape it. And in Michigan, it's not a lot of fun. So, I've had my windows broken out. I've had my doors punched, which makes me more mad than the window. When they punch out the locks, it just ends up costing that much more money because they ruin the door and the lock. I would have rather than bust my window, but yeah, I've had my car broken into that many times, my garage, my home. There was nothing okay about it. And for him to just brush it off like, hey, that's just living in the big city. Maybe he grew up broken, I don't know. I just know that there was times when my window got broken in my car and I didn't have the $200 to fix it, or 300 bucks. If you're lucky, you went to a junkyard, maybe you found one or something, and even then you had to find someone to change the damn thing. And it's just to brush it off like that, do you get to the point where you're so wealthy that you just lose touch with reality and what some people they're struggling, or what they go through? Like, they're just not sitting around with 2, 3, 4, or 500 bucks right now to fix a window every time some asshole wants to break in your car. And they realize that even though I came from nothing, as I gained wealth, I always kind of kept in touch with where I came from because I never wanted to forget what it was like to struggle, what it was like to need food, to need money, to have to go out and grind. I just feel like maybe Seth's gotten to the point where he's so wealthy, he just doesn't remember what it was like. Maybe he never knew what it was like. I don't know. But then to go on and try to start defending cities, where there's crime, there's crime. You can't try to hide it. I had a wealthy friend, not even wealthy, they did okay, that, lived in a very nice part of Los Angeles. And, they came home one day and there's like helicopters flying around their block. And then they found out their neighbor was like, stabbed to death in their backyard or something. They were so fed up with the crime last year, they packed up and moved back to the Midwest. So don't come out and say that, certain areas of the country aren't struggling a little more than others right now. It's like crazy. Like you get to the point where you want to believe something so much that you're almost tone deaf to what's going on around you. Obviously, crime, you look at the stats, crime's not looking good right now in many places. But if you live in his bubble, and I had to say that, this person does well, maybe they're not wealthy, that I knew they moved. Because I'm guessing Seth Rogen's probably got significantly more money than this person. And Seth probably lives in an even bigger bubble where, his neighbor is not getting stabbed to death in the backyard. It's like the celebrities and these elite just get on this level where you just don't realize what it's like for everybody else. They probably don't even know what it's like for the upper middle class in LA, let alone what it's like for someone that's middle class or working class. It's like, who the hell working class can sit around and afford to have their window busted out? It's, and then you got your stuff stolen from inside the car. It's like I had some learning material stolen from my car that I was borrowing from somebody else because they were trying to help me out because I was trying to move my life forward. Well, these assholes stole that stuff, and it was almost irreplaceable to get, and I couldn't even afford to pay it. It's like they put me in such a bad position because they wanted to break in and steal my CDs. Like, so when you read this, I can see why you got the backlash. It's like, are you that out of touch with the rest of America? Are you so used to living in your little multi-million-dollar celebrity bubble that you just jump on Twitter and start popping off like it ain't no big deal? Man, maybe not for you, dude. But I remember those mornings. I happened to get up and go to work when I was 16 years old with a busted out window in the winter, trying to scrape the broken shards of glass off your seat. And then driving to work, freezing your ass off. You ain't got time to tape your window up. You weren't planning on your window being broken. And even then, it's freezing ass cold out. Even if you tried to duct tape it, it wouldn't stick. It's like, dude, how far out of touch with reality are you? So, anyways, if you're one of those people that's ever had that happen to you, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's just we're at a point where the elites, these like tech oligarchs, the celebrities, they just live this life that they just have no idea what the average person goes through. But I do, and I'm sure you do. And that's probably why the dude's getting slammed. Anyways, if you ever had your window busted out or your door locks punched, drop a comment below and let me know what you have to think. Till then, I'm going to catch you on the next one.